What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Um, Budget and investors. Jude Billy here. Um, where we give you practical financial advice for your everyday life. So today I'd like to talk to you guys about budgeting and investing, or financial habits and financial behaviors. Um, yeah. So hopefully you guys find this information valuable. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you guys find this helpful. I try to share different financial tips and advice here in my community. And if you guys would like to go in a little farther, just feel free to reach out and ask me anything you want to ask me. I have some. Yeah, I'm working on some resource, like a spreadsheet, a budgeting spreadsheet, and those kind of things. If you guys feel that's something that might be valuable to you, reach out and let me know. If it's something that you guys might find valuable, if it's something you would like, those kind of things. Yeah. So once again, I'm Jude, coming in from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and so me and my wife, we've been living on a budget for almost over 20 years now, almost 20 years now, and we have in our life on this earth, we find that a lot of people don't live on a budget or know how to budget and those things. So I just started sharing some of my experience with people online, people in person, and seeing if some of the things that we have learned over our years, if it will be valuable to you guys or not. So I posted a video today, I think, where it's this gentleman interviewing this girl, and he's asking her like what's if she's married and those kind of things. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, so who pays the bills in the house? And she was saying she paid most of the bills, but he's like, are you married? So she's like, yeah. So a lot of people in the comment been saying a lot of different things and stuff like that. Some people is like, it should be 50-50. Some people are like the man should be 100% taking care of the financial means in the household, which I don't agree with, because it depends on you guys' situation. So I'm not gonna say the man should 100% take care of all the financial needs in the household, and I definitely know the woman shouldn't take care of all of it. So, but it sparks some interesting ideas and conversations, because I believe if you're in a relationship, it's 100% from both sides. So you guys have to determine what's right for you and what's right for your situation. But I don't believe that you guys can be on two different pages and succeed in a marriage or a relationship, financially or relationshiply. So you have to kind of get on the same page about budgeting and those things, and make sure you guys are in agreement on what to do with you guys' finance. One person should not manage all the finance or make all the financial decision in their household, in your household. You guys should both be at an agreement of what to do with your money and those kind of things. So being on two different pages is like I'm a sports fan, so I'm going to use some sports analogy. It's like a quarterback and a receiver having two different game plan but playing in the same game. It's not going to end well, because when the quarterback is expecting the receivers to do something and he's doing something totally opposite, guess what? There's going to be a lot of turnovers, a lot of mishap, a lot of miscommunication. So if you're not on the same page with your spouse about financial habits and financial behavior, it's not going to end well. Like they said, money is the number one cause fight in a relationship or divorce, the disagreement of money and those kind of things, because sometimes one person is a saver and the next person is a spender, and while you're trying to save, your spouse is spending everything you're trying to save. That's like basically you're trying to cover up a hole and they're digging the hole. They're digging it out from underneath you. So try to come to an agreement and bring your money together and agree on what you guys will spend. Agree to spend your money on together, good or bad, because either way you guys both have to live with the decision after whatever happened. So don't just go and spend your money and just expect it to succeed and stuff like that and things to work out, because it most of the time is not going to. It's going to turn into fight and disagreement and start playing blame games and those kind of things. But once you get on the same page and you guys are in agreement, you'll start seeing how moving in one direction is beneficial for the family and those kind of things. So learning how to build a budget. Learn how to build a budget. Learn how to get out of debt and those things. By building a budget, like me and my wife, how we've been living on a budget for the last 20 something years, is like we write we have a board, we have a whiteboard in our room. I know some people use apps and spreadsheet and those things, and it's what's worked for you. We have find that the seeing it, the visual part of it, seeing it every day, it kind of makes it a little more real for us. Even though like I know technology, because we've been doing this so long, like before all these apps and those kind of things. Even though I know technology had make it a lot easier. There's a lot of apps that you could link your bank accounts and those things with to see when each other is spending and what each other is spending on. So I know, but we still kind of old school. We like the seeing what's on the board and seeing what we have in each accounts, in the sense of like we have our emergency fund. We have sorry, I'm trying to fix my so we have our emergency fund. We have like something. We have a category for entertainment. We have a category for birthday. We have a category for Christmas. We have a category for car repairs and car replacement, because we don't believe in car payments and car lists and car loans and those things. We have never had one, knock on wood, and hopefully we never have one. So what we do in our budget, we allocate money to replace our car every paycheck and for repair. For example, let's say every paycheck we'll put aside, let's say, for example, $100 for new car replacement and $100 for car repair. And you continue adding to that car replacement, because the car repair money, it will always go, because we buy used cars. So you're always going to need, used car or not, you're always going to need to maintain your vehicle. But your car repair money should continue growing. Let's say you bought a car for $5,000, and once you buy the car, you continue putting money in that category of your budget, saying for new car replacement or whatever you want to say. And so let's say you buy a car for $5,000, and that car lasts you for 3, 4, 5 years, however long it lasts you for, and you continue putting money in there every paycheck. So you buy that car for $5,000. Your next car may be $10,000. Your next car may be $15,000. But you go until your current car either need replacing, or it's cost too much to fix. Because if you buy a $5,000 car, and let's say the engine go or the transmission go, and it's going to cost you $5,000, I wouldn't put $5,000 into a $5,000 car. So you got to replace that car with whatever money you have in the budget to allocate towards replacing car replacement and those kind of things. And you continue doing that, because vehicles is a lifetime thing. It's a lifetime decision. It's you need vehicle transportation for life, unless you live in a city where you could take public transit, which Some people do, and some people don't. So it depends on the situation. But if you don't and you need a vehicle, you're going to continuously have to replace vehicle. And vehicle is one of the number one things of theft of your wealth, because you get tied up and caught up in this vehicle payment, $500, $600, $700 a month with 10-15% interest rate and those kind of things. And think about how much you pay for that. Let's say that $30,000 car over time and those things. Think of how long it would take you to pay for that. And once you pay for that car, you might need to be replaced. Because, like, for example, like a few months ago, I take Uber for my work and those things. To sometimes we park the truck in a different yard, different location, and we need to go back to where our shop is, where you punch in and punch out, change our uniform and those kind of things. So my supervisor had a Uber for me. So the guy showed up in a Tesla. It was a really nice car. First time I've ridden in a Tesla. So me and him started talking, and I started asking him about the car, because it's a nice car. Not gonna lie, it's a nice car. Can't really see myself buying one soon, but it's a nice car. So I started asking him, and I ask him if it's new, if it's brand new. He's like, no, he's been waiting a while now to buy one, and so he started going in to his car, how long he's been waiting to get one, and he's finally got one. So basically, he got a used Tesla. It was this year, 2024, and I think he says like a 2022 Tesla. It was like 2 years old. So he's like, he bought it for $50,000. Like, it's a lot of money for a used car. I don't really know the price of Tesla, so it could be not a lot, but at least in my opinion, I think that's a lot for a car. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm like, well, what do you work and do Uber part-time and those kind of things? So he's like, no, he drive full-time because he used to do construction and something happened to him and he can't really do that job no more. So he decided he's going to buy a Tesla and drive Uber. So I'm like, I wanted to ask him so bad, how much is the payment for a $50,000 car to drive Uber? Because how much money are you making in Uber a month to pay for a $50,000 car? That's at least $700 a month in payment, not counting gas, insurance. I don't know how maintenance work with Tesla, but I'm pretty sure there's some maintenance on it. If you put in that much kilometers on it or miles on it, pretty sure you have to put some service. You have to give some service. So I'm like, that's a lot of money. How much money do you have to make? Let's say you got to make about, if you consider, well, there's no gas, but you still have to pay to charge it. I think he says he pays like $35 to charge, but I didn't ask him how long the charge lasts. I just said, so there's no gas. So insurance, let's say insurance and maintenance. So let's say if, I'm not an expert on Tesla, but let's say with all that comes up to an additional extra $300, you gotta make $1,000 a month to break even. Just to break even to drive, let's say for a job, that's his job. So you gotta make $1,000 to break even, to start. So after $1,000 is where you start making money. How long is it going to take you to pay for that car? That is crazy. And what if there's so much funny things, like we live in Toronto. There's so much funny things in Toronto right now that's going with Uber and the city of Toronto and those kind of things. What if one buyer comes in and they change it and then you can't drive anymore? How do you pay for that vehicle? So that's an example of saying that you have to learn to make better decisions when it comes to vehicles. Because vehicles are one of the number one theft of your wealth. Vehicles and credit card. Credit card probably number one, vehicle probably number two. Because so much people have so much credit cards and those kind of things. So yeah, credit card, I know it's a hot button for a lot of people. But you go buy a Tim Hortons coffee in Canada for like $4-5 and put it on a credit card. So what you end up paying what? $7-8 with interest for a cup of coffee and those kind of things. So learn to live on a budget. So you know if if you're a coffee drinker and you know, okay, I buy, let's say, 5 cups of coffee a week, buy 1 cup of coffee a day, and you have an idea. Most people that drink coffee have an idea of what it will cost for a cup of coffee. So you budget that, you put that in your budget. You factor coffee in your budget. Let's say if you're a cigarette smoker, you factor cigarette into your budget. You factor those things in your budget so it don't catch you. Hey my friend. So factor those things into your budget so you don't catch you off guard. So a lot of things after you do a budget over time and those things, and you continue practicing over time, it will get easier because it will take like, let's say, 3 to 2 months or maybe 3 to 4 months to get used to a budget. The first couple of times you're gonna screw it up, you're gonna blow it, you're gonna go over it, and those kind of things. Don't get mad at it. Don't get frustrated. Just continue working on it because it's like everything else. If you're trying to learn a new habit, trying to teach yourself a new habit, it's gonna take time before it takes off, before it becomes part of your routine, part of your everyday routine. It's like starting a new job. When you start a new job, in most cases, sometimes you get frustrated with it because there's a lot of things to learn. You feel like you're never gonna learn this or some new skill or whatever you're trying to learn. You're gonna feel like you never learn it. But the more you keep at it, the easier it gets, the better you get at it. So a budget is the same thing. It's gonna take you some time to get going, but continue staying at it, continue communicating with your spouse, and those things. Make sure you guys are on the same page. Make sure you guys are on the agreement. Hey from downstairs. Hi, it's my wife. Yeah. So yeah. Hi from downstairs. Yeah. So continue communicating about it and those things. Budget is key. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So continue communicating about what you guys in agreement of, what you want to do with your money and those kind of things. So things eventually don't really catch you off guard and things. Yes, things might happen that you might not be happy with, but it don't really catch you off guard because you start to learn and plan. You be like emergency fund. Like let's say when you start, if let's say if you're in debt and those kind of things, you quickly try to save like $1,000, $1,000 to $1,500 as an emergency fund just in case something break. Transmission in the car go, you need tires, those kind of things. You save $1,000 to $1,500, and then you start paying off your debt. You start using the debt snowball methods and start paying off your debt. You go from smallest to largest. I know there's an avalanche method where some people where they like, go from highest interest to lowest interest. I don't really like the highest interest to lowest interest. I like the debt snowball method to get out of debt because the debt snowball method works that you pay the smallest debt to the largest debt. So let's say your smallest debt is $300. You pay that $300, and let's say your next smallest debt is $500. So now you pay a minimum payment on all your bills or all your debts, all your bills or whatever. Your bills, your debt. And then you put anything extra on the smallest one. Let's say you finish paying for the smallest one. What do you say to people who say they need more money to start? You don't start with what you want. You start with what you have, and then you continue from there. If you get, because you don't really control getting a raise. I don't even know if you can. Well, maybe you have some control over how much you make, but start with what you have and work from there. So if you start a budget and you realize, hey, I need more money, then you could do something like start a side hustle, look for a different job, all those things. But if you start a budget, you know, hey, the money that I'm making is not enough for my lifestyle, for where I'm living, for my rent, my mortgage, and those things. So putting it down on paper will show you that hey, I don't make enough for where I live. I might have to move. I might need a roommate, or I might need a few roommates or I might need to find a second job, or I might need to find a different job. But that's the great thing to a budget. When you put that on paper, then it will show you that, hey, something is off balance. Something is eating a lot of my income. You shouldn't be in a situation where your rent or your mortgage or whatever is eating 50% of your income. That's not sustainable. So if you have a budget will show you that. It should normally be standard between 20 to 25% of your take-home pay should be your rent or your mortgage or any other thing. Because if it's anything above that, it will be tight. Because when something do break or something, you may not have the extra money to fix it or to maintain it. Hence the reason why people go into borrow it from credit card, pay their loan, borrow money from a family, and then how do you pay that off? Every time you borrow money, remember you have to pay it off. Unless you're someone that's willing to go through, do this every 5 years and file for bankruptcy. But that's not a sustainable thing either. Because you're going to live your life in misery, and every 5 years you're going to file for bankruptcy and those things to wipe it clean. So there has to be a plan when you borrow money. You have to look at it, if I borrow $500, how do I pay that $500 back? There has to be a plan. There should be a plan. It's like, you can't say, oh, that's for the future me to deal with. Then eventually it's gonna sneak up on you, and it's gonna punch you in the face, because you can't continue kicking the puck down the street or kicking the ball down the street. No, if you don't deal with it, it's gonna spill over. That's like you cleaning your house and you sweeping all the dirt into your spare bedroom all the time. Eventually it's gonna become, or you sweeping your dirt under the rug. Eventually the rug gonna be so bulky that you can't walk on it. So you live with a plan, and you spend your money on purpose, not just get paid and you spend on whatever left over, you deal with it. No, have a game plan. Have a game plan. Have an idea what to do. Learn and practice good financial habits. So over time you'll win with your money, because there will be a point where neither one of us can't work anymore. So what happens if you continue borrowing money and kicking the puck down the road, and you reach to 65, 70 years old, and your health is not great? Whatever. What are you going to do? You're going to be one people standing up at Walmart checking receipts that they can't even see the receipts. You know they can't see the receipt. They don't understand. They're just doing something because they need something to do. And let's say if you're doing that because you just need something to do to stay busy and to keep active and stuff like that, that's fine. But if you're doing it because you need it to survive, that's not a great game plan. That's not a good plan for the long term. So that's where they know I said budget and investing comes in. Once you start budgeting, you start getting out of debt, you start investing. You start freeing up money to invest. Now you start freeing up money to invest for your future. You start investing towards a pension plan, those kind of things. Because I don't know about you guys, I don't want to depend on the government to take care of me as I get older. And I hope you guys are not depending on the government to take care of you, because they don't do a good job of that. They don't do a good job of managing their own finance. How are they going to take care of you? If it's there. I hope it is. I hope it's there. But that's if it's there when you need it. But how about if you build your own plan and it's there when it's time for you to collect it, and it's a bonus. It's an additional on top of what you prepared for. Because like it or not, age don't need our permission. We are getting older. It don't need our permission to come upon us, to creep upon us. By the time you know it, you're in your 40s, and by the time you lift up your head, you realize you're like, I'm 60 something. I had no plan for my future. I had no plan for retirement. No, guess what? No, you'll pass that on to your kids. I know us as black people, that is something that we do a lot. Instead of us to plan for our future, we pass it on to our kids. We don't plan for our future. We don't plan for retirement. We don't have life insurance. We don't have none of those things. And then, God forbid, we died and GoFundMe. Our kids or family member is creating a GoFundMe to bury us. That is sad. That is sad that you're putting that on your kids and your family and those things. Get a life insurance plan. Get a life insurance. Let's say even for a death burial benefit for like $10,000. $10,000 maybe cost you like $10 a month. It's not that expensive. Get term life insurance. They say the ideal amount to get is 5 to 10 times of your income. So at least when you're gone, not if, because none of us is coming out of this alive. When you're gone, your family and those things have enough to bury you, and they may have a little extra thing. I heard this thing saying that in our community as Black people, life insurance is one of the best way for us to pass on wealth to the next generation. Let's teach our kids, our grandkids, decent financial habits, and then once we gone and we leave them something, they're able to take what we leave them and take it to the next level and accomplish things that we couldn't accomplish because we probably did not have access to the things that they will have access to because of us. Is your generation going to be better off because of you or worse because of you? Because it's not going to be either one. The next generation. So I don't know about you, but I would like my next generation to be better because of me, because I took certain things, I take certain steps and those kind of things. So when I'm gone, my family is able to at least live with some dignity, and they don't have to go create a GoFundMe for when I gone to the other side, because we didn't plan for it. We thought we are going to be young forever, or well, if I'm gone, it's not my problem, it's somebody else's problem. No, it's your family. You know much? It's your family problem. You know much people I know in the last year that went on, what they say, unalive, and their friends and the family had to raise GoFundMe, at least 5 to 6 people. That the friends and the family had to create GoFundMe so that they could have a burial. You know how humbling that is to your family? Not you, because you're already gone. And if you're thinking, oh, it don't matter, they'll deal with it, that's really selfish. You shouldn't really think that way. Put your family in a decent place. Do a little better than the ones before you that probably did not have the ability to do the things or didn't have the information that you had. Now you have it. Do a little better for the next generation. Don't put your friends and family that they have to go create GoFundMe for you to give you for your final resting place. So budget so that you could invest for your retirement. That you don't want to work till you're 80, till you're 90, because you have to, and those things. Because when you build a budget and you have a plan, you know, okay, you have certain amount that you're allocating to savings, to your pension. Say you should save 10 to 15% of your income towards your retirement. If you have a job that allows you to do it before tax, like I'm in Canada, so we have RSP, and my work allow me to do it before tax, so which is great. If you don't have a job that allows you to do that, you you get a tax-free savings account. I think in the US it's called Roth IRA. So whatever, look it up, tax-free savings account. If you don't have the option to do the RSP or the 401k, I know that 401k is in the US, RSP is in Canada. That's before tax money. If you have that option at your job, you always do that. If your job have a match, then you always take the match because that's extra money. You take the match, but if they don't have the match, then you do what they call a tax-free savings, because whatever you invest will grow tax-free. So and don't save your money through the bank. Don't save your money through the bank. I don't really have any financial advisors that I promote, but we use like Wealthsimple. We use Wealthsimple to save and to invest in any additional money that we have into tax-free savings account. And they have a self-directed accounts where you could invest in different ETFs and single stocks companies. I'm not telling you guys to invest in single stock companies. You could do ETFs, or you could do a managed company through the broker that you're using. Some broker has managed account where they manage your account on your behalf. You have full access to your funds. You have full access to your money. Next thing, don't give anyone autonomy over your money. Don't go sign up with someone that says, hey, invest your money with me, and you have no access to your money. You don't see where your money going, and those things. Because that's how people get robbed and cheat. And then when they wake up and they open their eyes and they think they have certain amount of money put aside, and there's nothing. So don't give no one. If you don't understand something, don't invest in it. If you have, and I don't mean, because the thing with some people, you tell them if you don't understand certain things, don't invest in it. They take it as don't invest. No, invest your money towards your future. Because if you have your money in the, man, it's depressing to see what the banks are giving you on interest rate and stuff like that. While the stock market has been up like between like 10 to 15% the last year, your banks are giving you like 0.4 and 0.5% interest and stuff like that. That's sad. So sign up for a brokerage account with, I know in the US there are Fidelity and Robinhood and all those things. You don't have, like I said, you don't have to do single stocks and those things if you don't understand that. You don't need to do that. You could do ETFs or mutual funds, but reach out to one of those brokerage and see what they offer. Like I said, they have managed accounts where they manage it on your behalf, and you get a breakdown of it every month. You see how your portfolio is growing and those things, because you may not want to do single stocks, and if you don't understand single stocks, you should not do single stocks. So don't do things that you don't understand with your money. Yeah, something not gonna keep. Don't go do crypto. Everybody's like, I know crypto is a big hype and those kind of things. I would not do crypto for my investment as part of my investment. If you have extra money and you wanna buy some cryptocurrency and those things and sit and hold on it, then that's fine. But I would not do crypto. I know some crypto people are not gonna like me, but I would not do crypto as part of my retirement or long-term portfolio. Like I said, if you have extra money and you want to get into it, then that's fine. I'm not going to get into the whole if crypto is real and blah blah blah, but I just know I would not really do that as part of my retirement or pension plan. If I'm doing that, there would be extra money, because so much people know, because of all the crypto crave and stuff like that, they are getting into it, and then it's all over the place. So but the key thing is educate yourself on your money. You work too hard for your money to just let it go out of your hands like that, and not knowing or not having a game plan for your money. That's like you playing football and you work out like in the off season like crazy. You work like crazy for the game, and then when or you practice a week with a game plan, and when the game show up, you just do whatever you want, and you wonder why your team lost. Yeah, because you went outside the game plan. Your quarterback is calling one play, your receiver is running a different play. No, stick with it, stay with it, refine it, continue refining it. It may take you months, but the key is sticking with it, having a game plan, being on the same page as your spouse. You and your husband, your wife, whatever, be on the same page, understand, have a purpose for your money. Because if you don't, man, see all these companies and money, they spend a lot of money to get you to spend your money with them. There's a reason why Visa and MasterCards and those things, every other commercial you see is them. Because why? They want to get you into debt too, so they could take your money and charge you crazy interest rate, 15 and 20% interest. Your car breakdown, you don't have an emergency fund, you spend $500 on a Visa card to fix your car, that $500 has turned into $1,000 interest rate, 20% interest, 15% interest, 29% interest, 25% interest, and all those happen because you don't have a game plan. Is things gonna happen? Yeah, life is gonna happen. So you plan for when life happens, so things don't catch you off by God, off guard. And the more you do this and the longer you do this, the less things gonna catch you off guard. It's like people surprise every year when Christmas come. Christmas has been the same time forever. So you have kids. You like celebrating Christmas with your kids. You like giving your kids Christmas gifts and stuff like that. You put aside a certain amount of money for Christmas. Birthday. Your kids' birthday is the same time every year. You put aside a certain amount of money for them. If you have 4 kids, hey, say $5 a paycheck. Whatever. Whatever is within your budget. You know your budget. You know your situation. Put aside something for them. So you know, hey, their birthday is coming. They need something. They like something. Or sometimes it's in the situation where, hey, you got to explain to them, hey, we're trying to get out of debt. We can afford it this year, but we're hoping next year or 2 years from now we could be able to afford it. But we're trying to get out of debt now. So this is the price we have to pay to get out of debt. I remember when, I'm probably going to tell this story next time. But I remember when we were getting out of debt. And and my wife and my stepson used to make fun of me like crazy. Because I'm like, hey, everything we got it at home. Everything. My wife always say, oh, if my stepson see a squirrel outside, I say, hey, there's a squirrel. And I'll be like, we have squirrel at home. Because that's the thing we have to do to get out of debt. And once we get out of debt, it's been like 20 years since we've been out of debt. We haven't owed anyone anything other than our mortgage in over 20 years. But I'm like, once we got out of that, I'm like, we can't go back there. Because it wasn't fun getting out of it. Doing the things that we had to do, making the sacrifice that we had to make to get out of it. So I'm like, hey, this is what we had to do. It wasn't fun for him because he's a young kid, didn't really understand it. But I'm like, I know that we had to do that to better our future. Because my thing is, if we don't do that, then guess what? We're going to sleep on your couch when we old and gray. I don't want to sleep on your couch, and I know you don't want me to sleep on your couch. So no. So we made certain sacrifice so we could be better off. He didn't really understand as much of it, but as he got older, he started to understand it more. But he didn't understand it at the time. And most of the time, they're not going to understand it. But you have to do it for you, because guess what? Your kids will grow and leave you at some point. Or let's hope they do. Let's hope you do a good enough job that they do leave you and go. And those things. And you didn't ruin your financial future because you're trying to create something or create an illusion that there is more than there is. And later on, they got to pay for it, because now you got to call them and beg them for everything, and making your kids live in guilt. You're trying to guilt trip your kids and sort of guilt tripping them. Oh, I had to sacrifice this for you. I had to do this for you, and those kind of things. They didn't have a choice coming into the situation. So let's not try to be in a situation like that where we don't have to guilt trip our loved ones to help take care of us. Let's hope we put some things in place that all we could do is ask them to manage it for us, because we may be getting a little older, that we start to become like somebody. Okay, I'm not gonna go down that road. That we're not making good financial decisions because of, let's say, some age and those kind of things. So our decision making is a little lapsing, and we put certain things in place so all our loved ones have to do is manage it for us, not us depending on them to take care of us. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna come back again tomorrow and touch and discuss in a little more detail how to build a budget the right way and those things. If you have any question, or if you like to know how to build a budget in detail, any of those things, drop me a comment, send me a DM, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said, I'm working on a budgeting spreadsheet breaking down how to build a budget and all those things. And if you like access to that, send me a DM and I'll get that to you. So once again, I'm Jude, and keep budgeting.